Good morning, everybody. We have a higher trade in the grain markets here early on Wednesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures up 1 3/4 at 4.22. January soybeans up 8 cents at 11.77 3/4. December Chicago wheat up 5 at $6.25. December Kansas City wheat up 3/4 cent at 5.53 1/4. December spring wheat up 1 at 5.49 3/4. There's a lot of trade chatter suggesting that China has been back in the market for U.S. corn and soybeans. We have not seen confirmation of any such sales, but I would not be surprised to see some confirmation today, tomorrow, or later in the week. The market's really acted well, and this rally that we've seen here the last few days kind of started when I first started to hear chatter regarding these additional Chinese purchases. So keep an eye out for that today. That being said, if we do see some stuff on the flash sales report, a lot of it's probably already discounted into the marketplace to some extent at least. The global equity markets acting very well. U.S. dollar is weaker. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones posted fresh all-time highs on Monday. Overseas equity markets acting a little bit better. You've got hope regarding this COVID vaccine, which looks like a done deal. It's just a question of logistics. Which company, if not more than one company, is who distributes it. There's still there were some good corporate earnings in the third quarter that have helped the markets. The one thing that's maybe a negative is that the politicians in Washington cannot agree on additional stimulus in the U.S., which would certainly be nice if they could get that done. The incoming Biden administration has kind of been back and forth regarding this idea of a national shutdown. You know, first we heard a 4 to 6 week national shutdown. Then we heard the team kind of walk that back. Now they're talking about more targeted shutdowns in certain areas of the country that have a spike in cases. In any case, I mean, you've already seen these targeted shutdowns, not done by the federal government, but done by state governments and local governments. Which could be a negative thing for ethanol, for driving, for gasoline demand in general. You wouldn't know it by looking at the corn market, though, which has acted very, very well. Kind of a mixed bag for weather in South America. Looks like for the next 5 days or so, some of these key soybean growing areas in Brazil, we'll see some rain. You're then going to see a dry pattern for a few days, and then you'll see some rains again toward the back end of the 14-day forecast. There's a lot of different ideas regarding Brazilian soybean production right now. We saw the Brazilian government out with their estimate. They were at 135 million metric tons. USDA is at 133. I think that there are traders who believe that it could be quite a bit lower than that, something sub 130 based on a less than ideal start to the growing season. But it's still very much up in the air. And I think that a great deal of what happens in the soybean market over the next 3 or 4 months is going to hinge on what sort of crop Brazil has. And if it's this big crop, something in that mid to low 130s, we could be overpriced here. If the crop ends up being sub trend and we're down in the mid 120s, we could be underpriced here. So a lot's really hinging on Brazilian weather. Some of your key U.S. HRW wheat areas may see some drought relief here over the next couple of weeks. This morning's forecast suggests that a good chunk of Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas could see anywhere from 1 inch up to 3 inches of rain between today and December 4th. The first shot of rain slated to occur early next week. Additional rains being forecast for the first few days of December. So this wheat market is still holding together fairly well. I think if these rains come to fruition and if you were to see any sort of downside in the row crop markets, that would be a negative for the wheat, definitely. Corn market acting very well. We're seeing some bull spreading in the market. There's only 5 cents of carry from December to March today. That spread had been as wide as 10 cents just a few days ago. We'll keep an eye out for additional Chinese purchases. We're only, 5 cents away from contract highs here in the nearby December corn, trading 422 3/4 this morning. So very strong action. Soybeans, again, acting very well. One thing that's interesting about beans, and I think I'm going to do a podcast episode on this maybe later this week, is that we've really not done a whole lot to ration demand here for beans. I mean, you look at our two big segments of demand for U.S. soybeans. You've got crush. We crushed a record amount of beans in October, the best for any month on record. So we're not rationing demand there. Crush margins are still very good. And then exports is typically your other half, and we're not really doing much to ration demand there either. I know export sales have slipped just a little bit. China's been a little bit less active. But overall, I mean, we've rallied the market $3 or more than that on the board since the lows that were posted in the spring or summer, and we really haven't done a whole lot to ration demand, which is interesting. Wheat futures, again, they're holding together okay, but I think they're vulnerable. If these rains come to fruition in the southern plains, that would be a negative. I know that Russia's stabilized a little bit. Cattle futures were up yesterday. We saw a big bounce in the boxed beef market. Choice boxes were up almost $7. Select boxes were up almost $2. That is a positive. And I think that a lot of that kind of goes back to what's going on in the stock market, vaccine hopes, ideas that, maybe there's finally some good news, 2-3 months down the road. And markets, of course, are forward looking. And maybe that's what's going on there. Head of the cash open, the Dow Jones is up 160 points. S&P's up 14. The bonds are just a little bit higher. U.S. dollars a little bit lower. Crude oil is up 90 cents, 42.33 in the December WTI. Gold is down about $15. If you'd like some more information from me, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you would like to know when, how, and specifically I'm pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year, it's broken down by crop year, and by percentage. It's tracked every day. Sign up for that subscription service. It's $49 a month. Cancel it at absolutely any time. No other obligation, no other fee. Everyone have a great day. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.